Hello, good evening, good morning, whatever it is. My name is Andrew McCutcheon. I'm the founder of Time+Tide, and I'm excited to talk to you about the 5 watches that defined Audemars Piguet's year. And I mean that because this was a year of true surprise and delight from AP. The brand has a knack for being unpredictable, but this year just totally redefined how unpredictable and how exciting a release schedule could be. First, in January, we had the announcement that the 15202 would be retired this year, which lined up rather neatly with the retirement of the 5711 Nautilus from Patek. So we had two giants, two of arguably the most desirable watches in the world in that steel sports category, facing their last 12 months. And the 15202 certainly had an iteration this year that, to me, and I have said this on record, it was the most instantly at-home watch I tried on all year. It's a platinum model with a fumé green dial, no tapisserie, just a solid green dial that fades to black at the edges. I tried this watch on at the manufacturer in Le Brassus and something just broke inside of me. And it was my hope that I will ever be ahead financially in my life, because I decided in that moment that one day this watch would be mine. Obviously, I will need to make some changes for that to be possible, but this watch was incredible. The first watch that defines the year was the watch released in January, the 15202 in platinum with the green dial. Secondly, the Code 1159 collection saw some new additions this year, but I'm not going to go into those. That to me didn't break out from a fairly consistent release schedule for this collection. What interested me in 2021 was the beginning of cross-pollination between the Code collection and other collections. So we saw, for example, the Code 1159 Chronograph being transmigrated or translated into the Offshore Chronograph, which is a sign of things to come for the Code collection. A lot of these complications that we're seeing, a lot of this movement architecture is going to migrate to other collections in the broader AP canon. It's an exciting idea. I particularly got excited about the chronograph being in the Offshore because I had my cherished 369 configuration for a chronograph. Absolutely loved it. We talked a lot about it in the You Can't Ask That series, but I'm about to talk more about that now. So number 2 would be the fact that the Code 1159 complications are moving. Look out. The third watch that sums up the year that was for AP was the new Offshore 43 collection, which was a further refinement of the Offshore collection. When it was introduced, it was a brash, bold, muscular, sculptured alternative to the Royal Oak traditional, and its size and its musculature was the point. However, this year we are seeing a more refined design, everything from lug design to case design to pusher design has been more rounded off, more customer-centric in terms of how this watch wears, and really, again, just a maturation of the Offshore, almost like it's gone from pure brawn to quite a sculptured and considered design. Look, the team at AP were really proud of the way that this watch evolved in 2021, and it's definitely worth taking note of if you're a fan of the Offshore. In some ways, this list could have just been 5 Black Panthers, because if there was one moment this year that defined Audemars Piguet and the way that they're different, the way that they operate, it was the launch of the Black Panther, which was a Marvel collaboration. When this was announced ahead of time that there would be a Black Panther watch, a Marvel collaboration, which was heralded with a really cool video of the CEO of Audemars Piguet in a house in the Hollywood Hills with Don Cheadle, the actor, the mind boggled. How could this world of luxury and this world of craftsmanship marry up with Marvel? You know, big bang Hollywood action films with fantastical characters. And somehow they brought the two worlds together very well indeed, because these watches are not only largely inaccessible to, unless you're an NBA player, they're also somehow reflective of both worlds in a really exciting way. Now look, at the time, obviously there was a lot of controversy, there was a lot of hype around the launch, and I would like to quote our venerable editor, Zach Blass, who at the time made what I think is still such a sage point about what this release represents for Audemars Piguet, because not everything is for the enthusiast and collector community. He says, to reiterate what I mentioned earlier, this release, both the limited edition and the piece unique, is a prime example of the need to understand the larger perspective on watch releases. Too often, we think that brands have to speak strictly to the enthusiast community, but it is clear that the smarter path is to target both the niche and mainstream audience in turn. Based on what I have seen on social media, it is becoming impossible to receive unanimous applause from the enthusiast community anyway. These critics, by and large, are simply not the target consumer of this watch. Wise words from Zach Blass, and a great way to consider what the Black Panther means for Audemars Piguet, and also to prepare ourselves for what will be a steady wave of Marvel releases over the coming years. The final watch that summed up 2021 for Audemars Piguet was their only watch release, which was a piece unique and a Royal Oak in bulk metallic glass. Now, this subject came up in our conversation series called You Can't Ask That, where I was encouraged to ask Michael Friedman and Luca Raggi from Audemars Piguet questions that might have traditionally been off limits. And in that discussion, we got to Audemars Piguet's use of unusual materials. And through this, somehow, I was shown a promotional video of the BMG Royal Oak for Only Watch, and it was described to me as the ultimate realization of the Royal Oak, because not only do you have these high finishings and this light play and this beautiful handcrafted object, but you also have one that's unscratchable. Bulk metallic glass is a material that is incredibly impervious to scratches. Therefore, do we have here the ultimate of all Royal Oaks, an unscratchable one that maintains that extraordinary experience of a well-finished, hand-finished Royal Oak. So I expect, and I'm finishing with that on purpose, because I expect that we're going to be seeing more watches in BMG from Audemars Piguet, which might give all of us that dream result of Audemars Piguet finishing that can't be scratched. Can you imagine? It's been a great year for AP. Honestly, in my years of covering the brand, it's been by far the most tumultuous and exciting. I think we all were left wondering at different points what was coming out next and why and how. It's been that kind of year. Bravo to the brand for keeping everybody guessing, for being the center of conversation nearly all year. And that is a true mark of a creative team in fine form. So to the team at AP, keep doing what you're doing. We are loving it.